Spider-Man's classic suit is one of the most iconic in the Marvel Universe. However, Peter Parker has changed his red and blue suit for a black suit on several occasions. Even after discovering that his first black suit was actually the alien symbiote that would become Venom, he added the style to his repertoire with an identical fabric version of the suit. Although Spider-Man eventually returned to his classic suit colors, he has occasionally donned his black suit when he needed a sleeker look or during a particularly dark time in his life. To celebrate the 40th anniversary of the black suit's debut, Marvel has decided to reunite Peter with the symbiote in the new Venom War event, but the suit has received an update that is delighting readers. That is why, in this video we will talk about the symbiote suit and its history with Peter Parker. After the Beyonder brought Earth's heroes and villains to Battleworld to fight each other, Spider-Man donned his black suit for the first time in Secret Wars number 8. When Spider-Man's suit was damaged in battle, Thor and Hulk pointed him to a machine they used to repair their suits with a simple thought. However, Spider-Man turned on the wrong machine and freed the symbiote, which had been trapped in a containment field after being used by a Kree soldier and Deadpool. To Parker's surprise, the symbiote covered him and dissolved the remains of his old suit. Although he attempted to recreate his classic look, Spider-Man assumed his new suit design was due to the subconscious influence of Spider-Woman's similar suit. For the rest of the event, he completely ignored the fact that the suit was a living creature and its relationship to Null, the god of symbiotes. Despite the existential threats facing the heroes, Spider-Man eagerly experimented with the organic web of his new suit and its ability to respond to his thoughts. Although he still did not realize that his new suit was alive, Spider-Man saw that the other heroes' suits did not respond to his thoughts. Mr. Fantastic also told Spider-Man that he wanted to study the suit when they returned to Earth. When the heroes returned to Earth, Spider-Man officially debuted his new suit in Amazing Spider-Man number 252. While working closely with Black Cat, Spider-Man faced off against villains such as Rose, Kingpin, Puma, Jack-O-Lantern, and Silvermane. When Parker tried to sleep, the symbiote took control of his body and fought crime as a silent vigilante and more aggressive at night. Naturally, this left Parker feeling exceptionally tired during the day. Over the course of several stories told several years later, we find out that Spider-Man and Black Cat confronted Mysterio, who began to understand the nature of the symbiote and briefly bonded with it. When the Hobgoblin used magic to rewrite reality, Spider-Man teamed up with Doctor Strange to defeat him and Baron Mordo in Symbiote Spider-Man, Alien Reality. With the unlikely team of Kong, Rocket Raccoon, and Monica Rambeau, Spider-Man faced off against Mr. E, one of the prototype symbiotes Null created, in Symbiote Spider-Man, King in Black number 1. When his closest allies began to suspect that his black suit was alive, Spider-Man also teamed up with the Eternals and Hulk to take on Karnilla, the Norn Queen, in Symbiote Spider-Man, Crossroads. In Amazing Spider-Man number 258, the alien suit's nocturnal adventures became too much for Spider-Man. After a vivid nightmare in which he found himself torn between the symbiote suit and his classic suit, Peter turned to the Fantastic Four for help. When Mr. Fantastic examined the suit, he realized that it was alive. Despite the suit's attempts to stay with Spider-Man, Reed Richards used a sonic weapon and the flames of the Human Torch to force the symbiote away from the arachnid. However, the symbiote suit escaped and returned to Peter Parker's house. When the symbiote disguised himself as one of his other costumes in his closet, Spider-Man inadvertently bonded with him again in Web of Spider-Man number 1. While fighting the Vulturians, Spider-Man ended up in the bell tower of the Church of Our Lady of Saints. As the tower bells rang, the cacophony forced the symbiote to separate from Peter. Although the symbiote wanted to take Spider-Man to safety, the symbiote developed a bitterness towards the hero that it would share with its later hosts. Despite his problems with the alien suit, Spider-Man wore a cloth suit with an identical design on several occasions. After Black Cat made him a black suit inspired by her symbiote, Spider-Man began wearing it in Amazing Spider-Man number 263. Parker kept this as his primary Spider-Man suit through major storylines such as Kraven's Last Hunt and the death of his friend, Jean DeWolf. During that time, the symbiote bonded with Eddie Brock to create Venom, who still had a design similar to Spider-Man's black suit. After Venom attacked Mary Jane, Peter decided to stop wearing his black suit at his wife's request. Against Mary Jane's wishes, Spider-Man returned to his black cloth suit on a few occasions, beginning with an underground mission to fight Morbius. Years later, Spider-Man once again donned the black suit following the events of Civil War, when one of the Kingpin's snipers fatally wounded Aunt May. During the Back in Black storyline, Parker once again wore his black suit to reflect his darker humor and more aggressive tactics. When Kraven the Hunter challenged Spider-Man to a fight with the black suit, Parker used it again to face Kraven and his family in the story, The Grim Hunt. As the Venom symbiote passed between Eddie Brock, Scorpion, and Flash Thompson, Spider-Man joined several symbiotes in quick succession. While working with the X-Men in space, Spider-Man was briefly possessed by a symbiote which Beast and Hellion defeated. The original Venom symbiote also returned to help Spider-Man defeat the Red Goblin in the pages of Amazing Spider-Man number 800. After Norman Osborn bonded with the Carnage symbiote to become the Red Goblin, Brock freed the Venom symbiote so that it could bond with Spider-Man again. With the symbiote's added super strength and a new costume design with a larger logo, Spider-Man faced off against the Goblin. Although he briefly gave in to his rage and turned into a more monstrous form, Spider-Man separated from the symbiote before the end of the battle. Around the same time, Spider-Man bonded with another symbiote when the war between the symbiotes and the Poisons came to Earth during the events of Venomized. Possibly due to the lingering presence of the Venom symbiote in his body, this symbiote took the form of Spider-Man's black suit. Even after Spider-Man let this alien suit go, he still couldn't escape its legacy when Kraven the Hunter put him back in a black suit during the Hunted arc, although this suit was a replica made of cloth. Since leaving Spider-Man, the Venom symbiote bonded again with Eddie Brock and played a pivotal role in defeating Null, the creator of the symbiotes who was threatening to destroy the galaxy. After Brock replaced Null as the King in Black, the Venom symbiote bonded with Dylan Brock, Eddie's son. While Eddie met several possible future versions of himself and traveled through time, Dylan briefly died and met Eventuality, his father's final form at the end of time. Throughout their travels, both Brocks were horrified by opposing visions of the future that could happen if the other were to bond with the Venom symbiote. Now, this led the two into a war over who would be the one and only true wearer of the black suit, but Venom had other plans. While Eddie and Dylan began gathering their respective allies, the Venom symbiote wandered around New York alone. Ashamed of its failure to save Dylan and the pain it caused him throughout his life, the symbiote wandered aimlessly. As a last resort, the symbiote returned to Peter Parker's closet to bond with Spider-Man, the only host who can resist the alien's corrupting power and stop the Brock's nightmares about the future. Initially, the symbiote tried to convince Peter by arguing that its original host used it as a weapon and Peter was the first completely good host it had. He taught her about responsibility and asks for her help to stop the battle between Dylan and Eddie. Peter did not believe him, because by then, he had already seen his friend Flash Thompson using the symbiote for good, in addition to saving the universe by working alongside Eddie. Spider-Man knows that the symbiote is no longer evil, he just has remorse because he believes he has ruined the lives of his hosts. Venom admitted that was true. Now he wants to do the right thing and help Dylan and Eddie, but he can't do it alone. Noticing that the symbiote understood the responsibility that its actions implied, Parker decided to join him again to help him. For now, the two have not formed a symbiosis, but rather have separate minds, just like the first time they came together. Venom thanked Peter because, although it is true that he loves Dylan and Eddie, he will always have a special relationship with him, since he was the first guest who taught him what it means to be a hero. If you want to know more about the new relationship between Peter and Venom, we recommend reading Venom War and their respective tie-ins. Who knows, maybe this time we will see Peter fully accepting the symbiote to form a symbiosis.